right, let's go. Okay, happy Monday, you guys. I'm so sorry about that delay. What are you gonna do, kids? They keep you on your toes. I am so excited for so many reasons. First of all, it's January 2021. I kind of like Mondays, because they feel like a fresh start. So I really love January because it's like the ultimate fresh start, right? So I'm even more excited about our speaker. You guys, I really kept thinking, and I told her this when I reached out to her. I just kept thinking, like, who would I want to kick off if I could have somebody kick off for our team? Who would that be? And it was kind of like my word of the year. Her name kept coming to mind. Of course, I've seen you on like every stage since I started in 2015, and we've gone to your events in Plano because I'm from Fort Worth. So your name just kept coming to mind. So anyways, I reached out. I was very nervous. You were so sweet. I'm so appreciative. So I know a lot of my team knows who you are, but I know some of them, are fairly new. So I was going to just see if you'd start us off by telling your story.
Yes. Oh, well, so exciting because I love the beginning of weeks, beginning of months, and it's like the beginning of the year. So like this is awesome because even every Monday I always just feel like it's the beginning of a new week. And so I love it. I'm like, this is like the best ever. The first Monday in January in an entirely new year. So it's like fresh, new everything. So just so special. But yes, my name is SheriLynn Alcala, and I've been with It Works for 6.5 years. And so, like the short version of my story would be I joined when my daughters were 1 and 2 years old. And so they were little. My husband and I, we did everything we were told to do, went to college, got our degrees, and then we found ourselves, having kiddos, and it didn't make sense for me to work. So I was staying at home. And so we were living on a single income, like so many families. And we just kind of found ourselves running on that hamster wheel of life, which it felt like, where we couldn't get ahead. There was so many times more month than money. And I remember thinking, like, this can't be life. Like, there's gotta be more, and kind of my, like, I guess rock bottom or the big wake up call for me was when I wanted to put Jocelyn in a dance class. She was 2 and going to be turning 3. And I remember, calling John and saying, hey, there's a dance studio. And when she turns 3, I can put her in dance class. And he was like, well, how much is it? And I was like, it's $80 a month. And I'll just never forget him being quiet and just like the silence on that phone call and him saying, babe, I don't know where that 80 is going to come from. Like, I don't know what envelope it's going to come from is what he said. Because we'd always done like the Dave Ramsey envelope system and there just wasn't $80. And so I was like, man, we don't have an extra $20 a week. Like things are tight. And so I just remember praying like, God, there's gotta be a way, like show me a way to make extra income, but still be able to be home with these 2 babies, which I loved. I loved being a mom. I didn't think I would love it as much as I did. And so like, I just loved it. And not long after, an acquaintance I went to Bible school with was posting before and after photos on Instagram. And I was like kind of intrigued and then kind of skeptical and talking about this business. And finally I mustered up those 5 seconds of courage to reach out. And I so many times say, I never liked any of her photos. I never commented, but I was watching. And I watched for a couple weeks, before I finally messaged her. And actually, although I was interested in the business and the products, I was really curious about the wraps. And I remember even just starting off saying, well, how much are the wraps? Like if I were to just try those. And she kind of talked me into being a loyal customer, which I was going to basically like, I don't even know how I was going to pay for that, put it on a credit card, then like beg for forgiveness from John. And I'll never forget saying, okay, I'll become a loyal customer. And then before she went to put in my info, her saying a question that changed my life. And she said, hey, just to throw it out there, for only like $40 more, you could become a distributor in case you're open to extra income. And I said, yes, even though we didn't have it. And that just reminds me, even when people don't have money, if they are ready for change, they will find a way. They will find a way. And it's crazy that she offered me the business, that I didn't say it, even though I was, interested, like that she said it. So I don't know who that person is that wants to buy coffee from you or wants to buy some gummies. don't be afraid to offer them the business. Hey, just to throw this out there in case you're open to extra income. Had she not said that, I don't think I'd be here today. And so that question changed my life. So that's kind of my story and how I got in Stormy.
Gosh, I feel like that's the most like humble story I've ever heard. You're leaving out all the success. I'm like, you're no double ambassador.
Well, then so I joined, I can take you through that. So like I ended up joining, and here's what I'll say. If anyone's new on here, do we have anybody that's new? If you've been in this business, let's see what month, we're in January. If you joined in November, December, or January, drop a 1 in the chat. Let's see how many people we have that joined in like November, December, January, the last 3 months. Okay, I love that. And so, here's the thing. Awesome. Here's the thing I will say. The best advice I can give you is to go all in. And that's truly what I did. I'm not a halfway. I'm basically like all or nothing. It can get me in trouble, but so if you join this business, you already paid, you already joined. And so don't dip your big toe in, don't dip your foot in, like jump in. And that's really what I did. I wasn't concerned what anybody thought. When I said yes, it's like, okay, I'm going to try this thing. And I remember making the commitment and saying, if I'm not making money in 1 year, I'll quit. And I'm so thankful now that that was my mentality, because I thought that was normal. Like, I didn't expect to join in 1 week, make money, or 1 month. It's like, okay, let me give it a year. If I'm not successful in a year, I quit. Okay. Give it a year. Like, I am mind blown by the people that don't even give it 12 months. Give it a year. It's sales. You're going to have ups and downs. Like, I'm so, and then give it a year and remind yourself, like, remember you're doing it for you. So that's what happened. I joined, and guess what? There was a bonus right now. There's an emerald bonus. Anyone can go emerald and earn a $5,000 bonus, right? By the end of February. So when I joined, there was a diamond bonus. And I remember thinking, okay, go diamond in 3 months. I get a $10,000 bonus. I'm going to do it. What do I have to do? So it's like step 1, you got to go ruby. And I do remember thinking, not one soul is going to join me. Like, I don't know one person that I can actually get to do this, but I'm going to just try. So I started with my best friends and I asked them all. I remember my sister-in-law was like one of the first people I asked, Stacy. She told me no. And so then I had to harass her for like 2 weeks before she said yes. She's now an ambassador, like top 50 income earner. But you know what? She told me no for 2 weeks, but I didn't stop. I was just like ruthless. And so I did though. I asked all my best friends, one of my other best friends, Esty. She told me no for 6 months. Guess what? She's now a presidential diamond. She had to watch me go diamond, double diamond. I think I might've gone triple diamond before she finally joined, And so that's the thing. So I went and I asked my best friends, and then I asked my friends. And if I couldn't pick up the phone and talk to them, we weren't that close, then I text them. If we weren't close enough to text, I Facebook message. And then I just went to, okay, how many Facebook friends do you have? I went through my Facebook A through Z and would pick the people I wanted on my team, and I'd ask. And I've never been like a mass anything. It kind of freaks me out when someone's like, I sent 200 messages. I'm like, wait, what? It makes me sweat. But you know what I did? I asked 10 people a day for my entire first year to join my team. I have to have numbers. I believe that long-term consistency is always going to trump short-term intensity. And so long-term consistency. So I asked 10 people a day my entire first year, and I was presidential diamond in 1 year by asking. And when I ran out of people, I'd be taking my daughters to dance class, because then they finally got to do dance once I hit diamond, right? I'd be taking Jossie to dance class, and I'd see a mom, and I'd write her name in my notes of my phone. And I literally still have a note section, potentials of people that I'm going to put the ask out for. And I ask. Some said yes, some said no. Who cares? Who's next? And that's what I did. I posted on Facebook, unfollow me, block me, comment, watch me. I don't care. I'm so thankful that when my brother unfollowed me on Instagram and told me I joined some blue octagon bonus pyramid scheme, those were the words he used. I'm so thankful I didn't let that get to me. $3 million later, who did he ask to borrow $500 from yesterday to help pay his apartment in LA? Me. Who lends it to him? Me. Thank goodness that his opinions didn't stop me, And so that's what I would say is go all in. There will be people that talk about you, but there will be people that support you. And it's so we're just human nature. We want to focus on the one negative comment versus the 10 good. We want to focus on the one person that didn't see results versus the 20 that lost all this weight, you know, like we just do that. And so I would just say, jump all in, go all in, ask everyone, show up daily. I have never not worked my business one day in 6.5 years. And that's why I'm here. Okay. So that's what I would say, go all in. So that's what I did. And I remember when and I'll talk about it in a little bit, but I decided I was going to go diamond and earn that bonus. And so I always say, see, believe, pray, work. So I decided it, I saw it. And so I did the things you had to do. And I was doing wrap parties and asking people if they'd host one and talking to people and meet with friends for lunch and showing them about the products. And I remember going to wrap parties saying, and here's the average income chart. And I'm going to be diamond the end of September. And I remember at one party, a lady goes, well, what rank are you now? I was like, executive. But like, I didn't feel like I was lying. I was literally believed I would go diamond in September. So I was saying it to everyone, never thinking it. That was the first time I felt a little weird when I was like, I'm executive. But I was like, yeah, but in 2 months I'll be diamond. And I was, because I put it out there and I went for it. So that's kind of, so, I went diamond in 3 months and then I just kept going, setting new goals. Well, then if I went diamond, I'm going to go double the next month. Okay. Well, then, okay, what's triple diamond? Okay. You need a new diamond link. That took me about 3 months. Okay. In 3 more months, I'm going to go triple, and then did that. And then, okay, from here, and just did it. And and so it's so awesome. This past year, I did go double ambassador, and I kind of looked over the questions. So when we get to one, I'll kind of talk about that, how you keep going. But yeah, went double ambassador because I continue to set new goals. And that was a really neat thing to do, to be one of the 5 double ambassadors in the company. And so there's a little more story.
I love that you said the long-term consistency beats short-term intensity, because a couple of us are reading the Atomic Habits, and that's right. That's the whole, I'm sure you've read it. That's like the whole basis of the book. But I also love it because I feel like I get real all or nothing too. I'm like, it's a good and a bad quality here, I feel like. Okay, so you guys, to be perfectly honest, when I talked to her, I was like, we want to hear what you're telling your team right now. Like, what are you telling your team? How are y'all kicking 2021 off? Goal setting, what does that look like? And so I'm going to let her talk on that for a little bit before I have just a few questions.
Yeah. I mean, so I am so big on having vision, like you've got to have vision. The word of God says without vision, the people perish. You've got to know where you're going. And even this past, I guess now it's been a little over a year, but, the summer before last, the Lord put it on my heart to write a book. And so I started typing out my first book, You Can Do Hard Things. And that was released over the summer, or was published and released over the summer. But when I was writing that book, I remember what first put it on my heart was, it was on my heart for probably 4 years before I actually wrote it. And it was after I'd gone ambassador. And so many people, and I went ambassador in about 1.5 years, and so many people would message me, and they're always like, well, how did you do it? What tips? And I remember being in the shower praying, and it sounds weird. You're like, that's TMI, but I had babies, and that was like the only quiet time. And that happened like twice a week, pretty much, which I shouldn't admit either. But so that was the 2 times it was quiet. I would like pray. And I remember I'm like, Lord, like, I don't know. How did I get here to ambassador? Like, I don't know how I've done it. I mean, I know it's all you, God. I give you all the glory, you all the honor. This is not me, but like, what do I even share with people? Because I do want to give substance when someone's asking me something like, what, And I remember him putting on my heart, see, believe, pray, work. You have to see it. You have to believe it. You have to pray for it. You have to work for it. It's actually what the back of my book says, see, believe, pray, work. And at the time I thought, oh my gosh, I remember I got out. I write a lot of stuff in the notes section of my phone. I literally have like thousands of notes in my phone. John's like, I don't even know how you operate. I'm like, I don't know either, but it makes sense to me that I write things in notes and then I can just search how I know I would title that note. And so I wrote future book and I wrote see, believe, pray, work. And I remember I got out of the shower and when John got home, I was like, I'm going to write a book. And he's like, okay. And I was like, yeah, I was trying to figure out how I went ambassador and what to tell people. And then I was like, how have I accomplished any dream in my life? Because I kind of feel like I'm like an overcomer with a lot of just like my story, and I battle an eating disorder, and I'm dyslexic, and I was bullied a lot, and I'm junior high, and just different things, losing my dad, like 3 weeks after John and I got married unexpectedly and really tragically. And so like, just kind of like my life, a lot of times I feel like, man, God, like, I feel like I'm an overcomer because of him and his grace. And, he truly gives you beauty for ashes. And that's what I feel like my life is. And so I wrote it out and I was like, I'm gonna write a book. And throughout the years, anytime I would hear things that would go under those chapters, like see, believe, pray, work, I'd like write them. And, and finally I felt like enough was enough. And I'm like, I've got to write this book that I've been like saying I'm going to write for years. And so that's what I did the summer before last, is I just like started. But the whole book's about going after a dream, going after a goal, right? And what you have to do. So when I'm talking to my team, and tomorrow is a whole night talking about dreaming and dream boards on my team call, this is a lot of what we're talking about. But number one, I believe you have to do this with any dream you have, you guys, but especially with this new year, with 2021, is you have to see it. You have to have vision. I want you to have vision for this year. I tell my team and my leaders constantly, you have to have vision for the month. You have to have vision for the next 6 months. You have to have vision for the year. And then I even challenge people to, what are your 5-year dreams, and writing those out so you think long-term, but vision for the month, 6 months, a year, and 5 years. That I'm just huge on. Okay. And because it gets you having something to go for. Had I never wrote on a dream board, I wanted to write a book, I don't know that I would have. Had I never written on my dream board, going ambassador, or going last year on my dream board, I could pull it out. It said going double ambassador. It said, what did I write? I think I didn't even think dream big enough. I think I wrote, was it 5 personally enrolled diamonds or something? That's like pitiful. I ended up with like 10, but it gave me something to go for. Like everything on there, it gives me something to go for. And are there dreams I didn't accomplish? Absolutely. But I got a lot closer. I wrote I wanted to read 24 books in a year. Can I tell you, before 2 years ago, the last book I had read was Twilight. Yeah, Twilight. And you can guess how old I was when I read that, whenever those came out. No, I went ambassador. I never read a book besides the Bible. Okay. Confession. So, but I feel like it helps I listen to sermons and, all of that. So the Lord would fill me up. But then I finally got to the point where I needed self-development. And I heard someone say smart people read. And I was like, wait, I want to be smart. So then I put on my dream board to start reading. And because I did that one year, put on there to read 12 books, I did that the year before last. I read 12 books in a year when I hadn't read like 12 books my whole life. And so I put that and did it. So last year I wrote 24. I didn't meet the 24. I went through and counted and I read 12 again, but it gave me something to go for. So 24 is going back on there, but you've got to have vision where you're going. Why did I go diamond in 3 months? Because I set a goal. I saw it. I saw myself going diamond long before I did. I remember seeing myself, and I'm not saying like, oh, well, you have to see it and like manifest it. I actually think that's kind of weird. I'm just like, no, you got to have vision and like see where the heck you want to go. See where you're going with your life. Like I saw myself. I went to my first conference, sat in the back of the room, and I remember going, I forgot my glasses. I'm blind. And so I couldn't like see anything. It was like just little blurs. I didn't even know about like premier seating or, paying more for your wristband to get a little closer. It was like, I'd been in just a couple months, went to this conference with 4 of the girls that had joined me, sat in the back. And I remember sitting there going, next year I'll be on that stage. What rank do you have to be on that stage? Anyone know? Like what rank are the people sitting really close to the front, and like finding out. And they're like, oh, presidential diamond. Okay, got it. Presidential diamond. Okay. To be on that stage and deciding it. And I literally decided and go, I'll be on there next year. 1 year later, I was on the stage, on the panel, a presidential diamond, top 75 income earner. I'm not saying this to toot my horn, but to say the power of having vision of where you're going. But it's not just vision, right? Because that would just be a dream. There's more. But the step number 1 is you've got to have vision. So I want you guys, make your dream board. It doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to go spend $80 at Michael's like I did. You can literally get a piece of cardboard and write it with a Sharpie. One of the girls on my team literally has a white poster board with a line down the middle. She'd Post-it notes, and her dreams, this is really genius. Her dreams are Post-it notes, the different goals all through it, and the line. and it says 2021. And every time she does it, she's going to put it on the sign, the other side, just put that post-it over, accomplishment. I kind of want to make a second one just to do that, because that's pretty darn cool. Accomplished it, and just move the post-its over throughout as she checks them off. So I like that. Okay. So you don't have to go all glitter and that, or you can, whatever you want to do. But the point is, you've got to have that. So that's the first thing. And I want you to see this year where you're going. What do you want? But you do it for January. What's your January goal? What's your May goal? Like, I'm huge about May. I went double ambassador in May. My girls, like, especially my leaders, I'm like, y'all, what's that May 2021 goal? Like, there's like a good 7 or 8 of them. They're like, ambassador, like they're putting these goals out there for May. May's like boom. Like May is always like my like boomest boom month. Okay. And so like January goals, set some huge, everyone put your May goal in the chat. Like, and if you're new, you're like, wait, what does May mean? It means like huge, think huge. I just feel like the spring is just like bumping. Yeah, put those goals. You've got to have the goals of where you want to go. So anyways, that was a little too long to talk about see it, but that's number 1 is you got to see it. Okay. And then step number 2 is then you have to believe it. Why do you have to believe it? Because the second you believe something, I truly believe, and we'll talk about it at the end, the action follows. When you believe it, like you're like, okay, I believe I can go diamond. I believed it when I was at that rap party. I believe I can be on that stage. You know what? I believe I can write a book. I believe I can go black diamond. Like, why not? And when people tell me, SheriLynn, how do you get belief? I break it into there's 2 parts. Okay. You can go with either. Number 1, I believe it because the word of God says I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. It says greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. It says that his power is made perfect in your weakness. When we're weak, he is strong. To him who's able to do exceedingly abundantly more than you could ask or imagine. So I believe it because the Bible says I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I believe it because it says that. But then, and every time I struggle with belief, I go, God, increase my faith, increase my faith, increase my faith. Give me the faith. Okay. So that's it. But maybe you're like, I'm not even a Christian. I don't really care about that. Okay. Then you know why I believe it? Because people are doing it. People are going diamond every month. People are going to every year. I had to tell myself, people are writing books, SheriLynn. Every month, new books are being released. People are going debt free. People are building dream home. Like, no, people are doing it. So why not you? Why is it just for her? Why is it just for Steph Dunn to be black diamond? It's not. It can be for me. I remember seeing Marwa go double ambassador, and for a moment, I'm like, oh, but that's her. I don't know how to enroll like that. I'm not a mass enroller. Then I had to catch myself and go, no. It's not just for her. It's for you. When I see someone else killing it and winning it, I don't get jealous. I don't get envious. What I do is I go, oh, thank you. I'm going to borrow you that belief. Like, you just showed me I can. If Stormy can go presidential, if Jamie can go, like, why can't you? If whoever else can go diamond, why can't you? If I can go ambassador, why can't you? Like, that should give you the belief. People oftentimes say, well, if I'm seeing someone else and they're winning, I just have to unfollow them. I can't look at them. I don't want to compare. And I get that, but I'm like, I want to get to the point where I'm like, I can follow anybody, look at anybody, and that's not going to make me feel less. It's going to make me know if they can do it, I can do it. Go, girl, you win. I want to see you win. There's not one pie we're all taken from. There's not the one pot of money that we all grab from, and when it's gone, it's gone. There is enough for us all. We can all be rich, right? Like, the Lord wants to bless good people that are going to give back. And I'm like, Lord, bless me. I will be a blessing. It is yours. And so that's what we do. So you believe because, the word of God, and then you believe because people are doing it, and you need to stop saying it's for them and not you, and say, I decide today, January 4th, it is for me too. It is for me too. So number 1, you have to see it. Number 2, you have to believe it. Number 3, I believe you have to pray for it. I believe prayer moves the hand of God. I believe the Lord will bless what I put my hands to when I honor him. And I know that me on my own, I can't do it. Like, I can't do it in my own strength, but thank goodness I don't have to operate out of my own strength. because I couldn't. SheriLynn is not enough. She could not do it, but I know with the Lord, I can do anything. And so to me, that's huge. Surrendering my business to the Lord, that's helped me so much. Like, I don't get worked up if I miss a goal or if like something happens. I'm just like, God, this is you. I'm trusting you, and I'm just going to keep my eyes fixed on, the goals you've given me and the dreams you've given me. I'm going to go after them. But it helps to be able to surrender it. Has anyone ever tried to carry it by themselves, and it's stressful and it's overwhelming? But when it's like, okay, when you just lay it down and say, like, Lord, I surrender this to you, then you can do it. And so see it, believe it, pray for it. And then the fourth thing is, for this year, you've got to work for it. You do have to decide, okay, these are my goals for this year. I'm going to show up to work. Like, I can't just wish. I've got to work. But I do think when you see it, okay, when we're visualize some of those goals for 2021 that you have, like things you want to do. When you believe you can do them, right? You're praying the Lord will bless what you put your hands to, but you do have to put your hands to something. You have to pray and prepare. You can't just pray for it, not prepare. Like, God, help me to be a doctor, and then never go to med school, never do anything it takes. You're not going to be a doctor. God, help me to go diamond. Well, then you don't, ask people to join your team, and you don't follow up, and you don't touch bases with and work with the people that have joined you. Not going to happen. So you have to do both. But I do believe when you put in the work, and you believe it's going to happen, that's kind of where the magic happens. Because you don't want to just work without knowing what you're doing. Because then all you do is work, right? So it's like, have you heard it? Like, you have to be a dreamer and a doer. If all you do is do, but you don't have the direction, you're just kind of like spinning your wheels. If all you do is dream, but then don't ever do anything, you're just like a dreamer. But you've got to be the dreamer and the doer. And that's where I feel like the work portion has to come. And so you break it down like, okay, well, what's your goal for this month? You want to go Ruby? You need 3 distributors. There's your job. Okay. Got to sign 3 people. They're not just going to pop in the e-suite. So, reach out to some potentials. What's working? Are you posting, showing your stores open, utilizing new things like Instagram Reels or TikTok? And so anyway, so when it comes to 2021, I think if you see it, believe it, pray for it, work for it, you truly can do anything. But you have to make those dream boards, put them out there, put it somewhere you can see it every day.
Yes, that's so good. I'm taking all the notes. I'm like, if you see me looking down, it's just because I'm taking all the notes. Okay, so you talked about going from reading Twilight to 12 books. I love Twilight, so it was zero judgment here. I'm like, I got Midnight Sun for Christmas, so I'm not judging. I'm like,
my niece was telling me about that one. I was like, oh, they're like still making books. Okay.
Yeah, they are. It's back. Go get it for yourself. But talk to me a little bit about how the reading those 12 books has helped your mindset. And like, we always, when I first came in 5 years ago, like people weren't preaching self-development like they are now, and like the Sabbath and stuff like that. So can you just talk a little bit about how that's changed your business?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think that, it is true. Like you want to learn, like you want to grow, you want to always be growing and evolving and becoming better, and so there's definitely like, I mean, you've never arrived. And so I loved like, different books I read, like I'm always like, okay, God, show me what you want me to take from this. There's times I read books and I'm like the last book I read, It Takes What It Takes. He's like really big on neutral thinking. And there was some stuff that I'm like, I didn't love that, or I didn't feel like it aligned with my beliefs. But then there are things where I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so good. That is so, so good. And so I took so much from that. And it was like life-changing, you know what I mean? Or business changing. And I would share with my team. So with like any book that I'm doing, like, that's what I do. And I take the things, Prayer of Jabez, that was like amazing, super right? But just like all, like putting it out there and asking. And so I just think it helps you grow, keeps you stronger. I think no matter what you do is you've got to stay filled up. Okay. So even at the beginning, like my run to ambassador, where I wasn't reading books, I was though still technically staying filled up. Anytime we used to have like one team, one missions, like little mini events in Dallas. Ashley Sinclair at the time had a big team in Dallas. So I had just joined, but she was always coming to Dallas like once a month. I would get my girls as my team would grow and we would go to the same sort of little rap party event. I probably could have told all her jokes just like her and literally almost said from heart everything she said, but I showed up because it fired me up. Anytime there was a show me the money call, we would dial in to listen to that Pam would host on Mondays. I got on every single one. I was always getting on team call, like, so I was still self-developing. I was staying full. And that is the thing. And so I think with books now, it's so awesome because now that I know about like so many different ones, whether it's, books or podcasts, you've got to stay full because here's the thing. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? So when you're empty, when you're dry, we deal with people. And people aren't easy. Like people are not easy. So it's like, you gotta be filled up or you're gonna snap on the distributor that's always negative, or you're gonna wanna snap on the high maintenance customer. Like, I'm like, this business would be perfect if I didn't work with people. It's a people business, we're network marketing. And so I think that's really the huge part of just staying filled up, So I love that. But you know what I think too, is you can't just read the books and not implement any. Because you could say, well, I read 52 books this year. Well, what did you do with it? Are you implementing what you're learning? You can get on every team training. That's also self-development. This is self-development. But are you going to implement and do any of the things you hear? Like, are you going to just be a hearer or are you going to be a hearer and a doer? And so I think that's important because I think I think self-development is so important. And like, I fill myself up every day with something. And normally it's not even that long. It takes me forever to read a book because I literally listen to it for 10 minutes while it takes me like 10 minutes to get ready. And I play it while I'm getting ready for the 10 minutes every day because I still have kids in my car at all times. But eventually one day when there's not kids in my car, that'll be another great time. But there's normally like a screaming kid in my car. But when I get ready, it's like 10 minutes of getting filled up. And I do think that is so important.
I agree. I can tell a huge difference in my mindset or, just your attitude to almost not even, because you're right. You can handle things so much better when you're in a better spot. Okay. So this is, I think, the biggest thing for me, and this is more for me. You have had such massive success in this business. Like, I mean, I remember watching you guys be announced number 2 income earners, double ambassador. You wrote a book. Like, what at some point, and this is me assuming, but at some point materialistic things like aren't enough, right? And you can do what you want to do, like what you started for. Like that dance is not an option or not an issue anymore. I see your daughter's in gymnastics. I was a gymnastics coach, so I see your daughter in her doing her little gymnastics thing. But what keeps you going? Like what keeps you motivated and you wake up every day wanting more? How do you talk to us about that?
I mean, I think that's where it's huge, Stormy, having those dreams and having that vision, like having that like 5-year vision. So like I could go plot my dream board with so many things on it. Everything on it is things that haven't happened yet. Like I want to have 10 ambassadors on my team. I mean, it was really awesome. For me to go ambassador, my 2.0 to go to ambassador. And then we took my husband's account ambassador. And then I have 2 other girls that I enrolled that went ambassador. So that was awesome. And then one of them had a girl that went ambassador. So, so there's like 6 ambassador accounts, but it's like, wait, I want like 10 more this year. Like, why? Because each one of that is people whose lives are changed. I looked at when I took my 2.0 ambassador, it reminded me, it almost made me feel guilty that I didn't have the belief I could do that. Because I went ambassador the first time in 1.5 years. The second time it took me 4 years. I didn't really know that I could. I didn't fully believe I could. I was like, it's kind of like rare to go ambassador. Like, who am I to think it can happen again? And I remember thinking like, I mean, I might could get it to triple. Like, even when I got presidential, I'm like, I don't know, like ambassador, that's just like, I didn't fully believe it. When I believed it, it changed and I worked different. And from the time I just made the decision I was going to do it, I made the decision literally in March. Oh my goodness, like the end of March. In April, we're going to make a run and go ambassador. Like, we're going to do it and go ambassador in May. Like, I decided, actually, I guess it would have been April because I made the decision in April, we ran all May and went. Like, it was really like a 6-week decision where I'm like, we're doing this. And why? Because all of a sudden it switched and I believed. And when I looked back, me taking that account ambassador the fire, the promotions, the life change, the girls that were able to leave their jobs. It was so huge. So like, I just keep dreaming. So like, I know, like, I loved that I wrote the book. Well, now I want to write in a devotional. I started it and then I just kind of got, and I'm like, I'm going to finish it this year. Like, okay, I want to have 10 more people go ambassador. Okay, that's awesome. Like, I want to go Black Diamond. Man, if I can make $100,000 a month, imagine we're already big givers at our church. Imagine what we could give then. Like, I have things like, I want to write $1 million check to our church. Like, we don't have that. I don't have $1 million in the bank, but why can't I be there? Like, Mark writes, builds whole gymnasiums for his kids' private Christian school and wings at hospitals. Heck, why? Like, I want to dream big like that. So I think that you just have to realize it's not being selfish, but no, you like when you hit your dreams, the biggest mistake you can make is not making new ones. And that is one thing I have done is from dream, we then redream. And that's where I think January is huge. And we put out bigger dreams. Like when I first joined, my dream was to go on our first family vacation because we'd never gone on one and to go to Disneyland. Now my girls, Paris is on their dream board. So yeah, it's grown and it's bigger, but we're still dreaming. Why can't we see the world? Like I never, went out of the country unless it was a missions trip, growing up that we did. I mean, which was awesome. But like, I didn't like travel, and I'm like, so whatever your thing is, and you might be like, I don't want to do that. Like everything you're saying, but what are those things that you want? What do you want? Like, what do you want to do in 5 years? What would be like that? Oh my goodness. And so I think that's the key with your business. Hit a goal. Don't plateau. Don't hit diamond and go, I'm here. Don't hit triple and go, I'm here. That's how you get stuck at ranks. Say, okay, no, now I'm ready to go here and just go from dream to dream. And that's what I've done. And it keeps me from getting content because we're always, it's like, we want to pay off this house. And then I want a beach house. Why not? Why can't we, why not? And so just have, you just have to have those goals because they keep me going and they keep me wanting to work.
Sorry, I keep thinking I'm unmuted. Yeah, I mean, I can look back on the times that I've gotten stuck and it's because I wasn't already dreaming ahead for sure. I mean, I said it double for way longer than I want to talk about. And it was because that was my ultimate goal. And I hit doubled and I was like, now what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, now, and I hadn't already. So I love that you do the 5-year dream plan. Okay. So the last question I have, and this is, not near as deep, but I always like to hear top enrollers say it. So what is your favorite way to recruit? What is your favorite way to bring people in? Because, there's people are doing it so many different ways. There's people enrolling 600 people a month on TikTok right now. And,
Yeah. I mean, so what I will always say is I feel like hopefully it gives people hope, but my goal has always been to double my steps success. So I've always wanted to enroll 6 distributors a month. And then for a long time, it was 8 customers and then that changed. But I never was this mass enroller. But once again, I was consistent. I never didn't enroll distributors. I mean, I might enroll 3 a month or 4 a month. Never, I think in my 6.5 years, there's 1 month I ever didn't complete my steps to success. So I always at least enrolled my 3, but aimed for 6. So there were years my average was 5 distributors a month. This past year was a higher for me month. And John did all my distributors. He's like, okay, you averaged 8 distributors a month this year. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. That's good. But 8, not 80, 8. Okay. And I've been in the top 10 for 5 years. This will be the 6th year. So you can go to the top, you can be in the top 10 and not enroll. So, and I'm not saying there's anything bad if you enroll tons of people too, when they announce, but I'm just saying you can just be consistent. And they say steps to success will change your business. So I do want to emphasize that. And even when they announce the top Ruby builders and the top diamond builders for the first half of the year, I was a top diamond builder. And that's someone enrolling 8 distributors a month, but they're promoting to diamond, I'm coaching them to diamond. And so I do want to emphasize that. Okay. But then with that said, do not let seeing other people win be a cop out for you. And you're like, well, that's for them. They're good at TikTok. I'm not. They're good at that. That's not me. Cause I've done that too. Host a post. No, that's weird. I don't want to do that. I still don't like it, but I do it. And so there's been times I am quick to be like, I don't TikTok. Seriously, I'm like going to be 37 in March. I can't dance on and like lip sync to songs. That's weird. But then you see people winning and they're doing it. So you can either watch them win and say, wait, I want some too. Okay. And so I'm always a little late to the game and then I always regret it. And I remember Grant Cardone in which book was it? I don't know if it was, I read his 10X rule, that was actually a life-changing book. And it was reading 10X rule that made me start my book. So like with what can books do in self-development, that's what gave me finally that push to write my book. And then I got super weary, felt like I couldn't do it. And as I was reading one of Rachel Hollis's book was like, SheriLynn, finish your dang book. And that got me to finish it. So it was actually 2 books that really inspired me to start and then to finish. So it is so huge reading and stuff. But okay, but back to what I was saying. I can rabbit trail a lot. So when people, but Grant Cardone said, when people are doing stuff, the second you hear of something new, do it, jump on it. Don't be the last. And I remember hearing about TikTok, but I'm not super great with technology. Okay. Like if you were to say, I will pay you $1 million, SheriLynn, to run a cab report, I would not get that $1 million because like, I don't know how to run a cab report still, but John does, but I really need to learn and I have steps and then I get confused and the export to Excel. And I'm like, I don't even know how to do Excel, but my point is, so I use those as cop out sometimes. I'm not good at that. I'm not good. Like, I don't even have the time to know how to work my Apple TV. My kids have to be like, Mom, give me the remote. Okay. My daughters are 7 and 9. So I'm not the most technological person, but it's a fact. Guess what? If you want it bad enough, you can learn, period. Who sees that one dancing grandma on TikTok? She's like, I think she was like a dance teacher and she's always like killing it, like to like hip songs. Yeah. I'm like, okay, if Granny can dance, like I can do this. And so, yes, I used like the whole TikTok reels thing, like TikTok as I don't know how to do it. And finally I thought I'm sick of hearing Kim and Cheyenne and all these people are signing 52 million DTs and I'm struggling to sign my 3. And so that's what I would tell you guys. Is so what are the things I do? You do all the things. What's working, you do it. Host a post is working, we host a post. People are going live on Facebook. I don't like that. Like my kids can do crazy things at any time. It's super embarrassing. Like I don't want to be live, but you do it, okay, well now people are doing Instagram, stories that happened, a few years ago. Okay, figure it out and learn it, SheriLynn. Oh, now they're doing. And so the second Instagram Reels came out, I was like, I'm not going to be late to the game. In TikTok, I finally did get on it. Probably in maybe September, October, not that long ago. And guess what? I'm doing it and I'm signing DTs from it. Okay. I mean, I had 1 month, like 2 months ago, where I signed 30 distributors, like between Instagram Reels and TikTok. And I was like, what, because one happened to take off and, and that was crazy. I'd never done that in my whole business. So it is true. Like that stuff does work, but I don't think you have to sign that many to be successful. Like you don't, but I'm just saying like, I want DTs, like, right. And if you're in here going, I'm struggling to sign my 3, struggling to sign my 5, you got to do the things that they're saying are working. Host a post, you will sign 10 customers a month if you get up 10 host a posts a day. I guarantee you will sign 10 to 20 customers a month if you get up 10 host a posts a day. It's just a fact. I didn't believe people and then I did it and then I went, oh, wow. But I'm not saying you have to sign 30 customers a month. I've done that with host a post, figuring it out, going, oh, this works. I don't think I could do that like long term, but like, yeah, get up 5 host a posts a day or pick however many you want to do a week because you will sign customers, And so when Instagram Reels came out, I was like, I'm not going to miss it. Not going to miss it like I did TikTok. So I just did it. I figured it out. I failed forward and I learned it. And so I am signing a lot of distributors right now from that, from Reels, Instagram Reels. Like my Instagram followers have doubled like since I started utilizing it. And I don't remember if it was September or October, but it's like recent, like, yeah, September, October timeframe is when I started using both of those. And I'm figuring it out. You figure it out, And so, but I remember back in the day, I don't know, probably Jamie and Stormy, you guys might remember, but like Periscope and all those things, I like felt like I didn't know how to do it. So I never even learned or got on that stuff. Don't disqualify yourself. And here's the thing, y'all, you have to constantly evolve. People ask me, why do some ambassadors or any people like go to the top and then they kind of fall out, or what happened to so-and-so? They stopped learning. They stopped evolving. They stopped reinventing themselves. It stinks. I don't want to have to reinvent myself every few years, but if I was still doing what I did when I joined, it wouldn't work. Oh my goodness. Like, especially now, like COVID, like what I was doing was in-home wrap parties, hosting wrap parties once a week at my house, going to different friends' houses, having wrap, like that wouldn't work. I was like wrapping strangers in Starbucks bathrooms with wraps that I would strike up conversation. That's so weird, but I did. Now, like no one wants to be 6 feet away from you. Okay. So like you evolve and you change and you get better. If I posted the stuff I used to post, like the little chubby girl in the bikini with the post that says you got a wrap for that, like the little like 4-year-old, like who does that? But I did, and I probably signed someone from it. You don't post that now. Like, so you do have to evolve and learn and grow. So that's what I would say. So I signed, but I still sign more market. I'm huge on building a local team. And so one way I do that is like when I work Instagram, I am always following people from like a boutique that I like here locally, or I'll go to a play place I take my kids to and I'll see who checked in there. And I'm really big. I'll go to a friend that's local that doesn't do the business and follow her friends on Facebook. I'll add friends that have said no, but like that live here in Dallas. And I have a huge Dallas team. Actually, every single leader on my 2.0 that is even every triple and above leader that was on my 2.0 that was a master, they were all friends of friends or local. And so, and anyway, so all that to say, that's kind of how I, so I work it, but I'm still big with meeting people in person, networking, add them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram. My daughter, anytime she gets moved up in a new level of gymnastics or new girls moms join, yep, I'm adding all those moms. Oh, here, let me add you on Facebook. Oh yeah, I'll send you all the pictures through Facebook. Like I like, and tons of the moms are customers, or one of her old coaches just reached out to me about the business. Like, you add them all. Like I add everyone Facebook, so that I have those warm market people. And then I do build on social media as well. But I do really emphasize trying to build locally as much as I can. And it helps because then they can meet you in person and all that stuff.
That's so smart. I never even thought about like looking at TikTok and reels that way, because yeah, if I posted what I used to post when we started in those, sparkly green and black graphics, first of all, we'd probably be blocked, right? Facebook's gotten so smart, but that's so true. I felt everything you were saying. My team can they're probably all like, oh, that's Stormy. I'm Excel. When I need something done on Excel, I just go sit next to my husband and have him watch me, and it pains him. So he's like, get the computer. So slow. I don't even know what you're doing right now. Oh, I love it. Okay. Well, that was great. That was the last question I had for you. If you have anything else you want to add, I loved it. I took a whole page of notes I've been writing the whole time. So I loved everything you said. I thought it was perfect. I know probably so much of us needed to hear it. I needed to hear it. So if you have anything else you want to,
I would probably end with just saying, okay, so you heard the things. So now you just have to decide, what are you going to do? And I oftentimes, I think of everything like a race, almost like the race of life, the race of this business. So it's like, you're at the starting block, you've got this goal set before you. I always picture that. I'm very always have these mental pictures in my head. So I'm like, okay, well, you got January, the goals you have for January, or maybe for you, you want to think about the goals you have to hit. Maybe who wants to go Emerald by the end of February, right? And get that. So yeah, so you've got that February goal, whatever that goal is, that next big goal, you see it. And so I think of it like, okay, they're about to shoot the gun, they go, and now it's your choice. What are you going to do? It's fired. And I would challenge you to take the first step. Take the first step. You don't have to have it all figured out. And that's kind of how I feel with this business. It's like I was at the starting line. I just took the first step, and then I walked, and I was a little scared. Sometimes I would fall, I would get back up, but you just keep going, one foot in front of the other, going. And guess what? You eventually catch your stride. And then all of a sudden you're running, and all of a sudden, you're going, and then you hit that finish line, and then you've got a new race set ahead. And so that's what I would say is though, but it all has to do with just starting. You got to start. You can't just think about it. Well, you join this business, like you just have to say, I'm going all in. I'm going to start, yep, I'm going to fail forward. I'm going to learn as I go. And that's just part of it. And so that's what I would challenge you guys to do. Whatever that thing that you've been wanting to do, just say enough's enough. The time is now. And let me tell y'all, I am not perfect and I have to do that repeatedly. There were some things on my dream board from last year I didn't accomplish. And it's like, SheriLynn, you didn't even you just gave up on that dream. Why'd you even write on your 2020 board? You didn't do it. And I had to be like, no, I'm doing it this year. Enough's enough. I'm going to just start. Instead of thinking about it, I'm going to do it. And I mean, once again, another book, it makes me think of 5-second rule. When it's on your mind, you should send out the host to post messages. You should reach out to that person. You should figure out a darn TikTok or whatever. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. And that's what I would say. Do it. You've just got to do it. And you'll just be so amazed when you do that and you decide to show up every day. So give it a year, y'all. Give it 2021. Be faithful. Say, I'm going to do something every single day this year and watch what it can do. Watch what it can do.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm just so appreciative of you hopping on. I can't even imagine how many people that ask you to do this for them. So I'm so grateful you said yes and spent your Monday night with us. And I will get you the recording as soon as it's up.
Oh, well, yay. Okay, y'all. Here, I'm going to say a prayer that we always say with our kiddos, okay, every night before bed. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. May he shine his face upon you and be gracious to you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. For you are the head and not the tail. You are above always and not beneath. You're blessed going in and you're blessed going out. And everything you set your hands to will prosper. In Jesus' name, amen. Love you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.